crap, I know what that means. We're live.
Yep. Ladies and gentlemen, well, thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the first ever episode of the Shadows Mall. I am your host, Marcus Shadow, and joining me for this momentous occasion is my good friend Chriz, aka The Mole.
Cheers.
And she who is making noise over there, Anastasia Lazerbeam.
Like I exist.
I'd like to throw up a quick disclaimer before we get into this. Stacy over there is experiencing some technical difficulties, and she may drop during the review. So, just a heads up for our viewers out there. Now, having said that, let's get into our review. Yes, we are going to be reviewing for this episode of The Shadows Mall. And the movie that I've decided we're going to review is the Lego Movie. Sing it, Chris.
Everything is awesome.
Yes, that is a great song. It is the theme song to the movie, the title song, and I like it.
That's why you decided to do a co-review. Because everything is better when you're part of a team.
Yes, it is. So, let's kick things off and say what we thought about it. I love the movie personally. There probably will be spoilers. Heads up. We will be talking about things, and I love this movie. Particularly, I loved the live action stuff at the end with Will Ferrell, which we will be getting into, and I felt this was one of Will Ferrell's best performances, if not his outright best live action stuff that I've seen. You know, I've seen some of his comedic stuff, and the comedy stuff is good, but I mean, what he does in this movie as a dramatic actor just blew me away. I was like, wow, he's good. But I don't know, what'd you guys think?
Overall, like I said, I liked it. I just felt like it was a Wreck-It Ralph clone. It felt like a Wreck-It Ralph clone to me. The only difference was the live action stuff at the end, which me and Marcus have different opinions on that, but we'll get into that later on. But it was good. I enjoyed it. It just didn't feel as original as it could have, especially with how long it's been since Wreck-It Ralph. It's not been that long, and this felt like the people would have watched Wreck-It Ralph and thought, that's a great idea, let's just do that.
Yeah. I don't know, I thought it was a good way of, bringing in the different Lego sets and trying to put them together, because each Lego set is so vastly different. It's like, really, how are you going to put them together as a cohesive universe? And I thought this was pretty effective.
It was effective. I did enjoy it. I just meant stuff like I said, like overall, when you break it down to its core elements, like Emmett's motivations were very similar to Ralph's. The jumping between worlds and the in-jokes between the worlds was very similar to Wreck-It Ralph. The fact he meets a female who has weird coloured hair, and basically the way the woman acts in it, she doesn't act like Glitch, but she has basically the same role of helping him realise his destiny while actually having more to her herself, and it felt like Wreck-It Ralph that bit did, or most of the film.
I can understand that. Stacy, what did you think of the movie?
This movie is super mega beautiful, and I love how all things actually look like Legos. Like, it looks like they could have, built it up with a bunch of million Legos, obviously the studio or whatever. But, like, it looked like it could have been built. It looked so real, and even the waves and everything else, it just looks so fucking beautiful.
Nice. Are you not on your headset?
I am on my headset.
You sound really quiet or really far away from the mic.
Yeah.
Is it better?
No, we can barely hear you.
Really?
I can hear her. It just sounds like she's on a built-in. But anyway.
Yeah, like I can hear it. It's really quiet compared to, say, you.
Yeah.
It's like I can barely make it out sometimes.
Fair enough. But no, Stacey does make a very good point. The look of this movie is great with the texturing for all the Legos and stuff like that, and they used an app that you can actually get online called Lego Builder, put out by Lego, and that's how they designed pretty much everything in the movie, all the Lego stuff. And of course, they took it and then they hyper-texturized it for HD and to make it look more, well, quote, realistic, unquote, like instead of just pure Lego bricks that these things actually existed. But they still look like Lego, and I thought that was great what they did with the effects on that texturing.
Like, they all have their little feet and holes and stuff where they're supposed to go, and it just looks really gorgeous.
They do. The look was pretty cool.
So let's talk a little bit about the story here, since we talked about what we thought of the movie as a whole. Let's go ahead and break this down. It is a story of a Lego construction worker named Emmett, voiced by Christopher Pratt. I believe it's the same Christopher Pratt who is going to be playing Star-Lord in the upcoming Guardians of the Galaxy, correct, Mole?
I think so.
The guy from Community, right?
I don't think he was in it, no. He may have been in an episode, like in series. It may have been in like in an episode or two, but he wasn't a main character.
Fair enough. Yeah, I thought he was from one of those shows. I thought it was Community. I could be wrong, but yeah. So I thought he did a respectable job as Emmett. But it's about him being just this everyday construction worker, listening to the rules of Lord Business, which I thought was a clever name for the villain. Excuse me, who has basically since taken over Legoland, basically the Lego universe, and he's kind of a nobody. No one really ever pays him much attention, and he always feels that I want to be known. I want someone to at least know who I am. And he finds what did she call herself? Wild Child.
Wild Child.
Yep. Who later on in the story, spoilers, is
credit. Everybody.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody's name. Like, that's something right there. He knew all the goddamn cats' names. He knew everybody's name. At the very least, he knows everybody.
This is true. Yeah, this is true. He didn't know everybody's name.
It makes you feel more sympathetic for him, I think, instead he tries so hard to get everybody's attention by learning all their names, and yet they still don't know his.
I think it keeps taking you off the headset mic there, Stace. But
okay.
Yeah, that is pretty impressive. Yeah, so he meets Wild Child, who later on is revealed her real name is Lucy.
Style. Wild Style.
Style? Okay,
Wild Style is her name.
Fair enough. Are you mouthing something over there, Mole?
Sorry, I forgot I was muted. I said basically that's why everyone kept saying to her, "Are you a DJ?" based on the name she gave herself.
Ah, fair enough.
And also, it's also revealed by, what the hell's his name? The Wizard. Basically.
Morgan Freeman.
Yeah, apparently she was so. Yeah, but I meant his actual with character's name. But yeah, I said it was revealed by him that she was a student of his that was so insecure she kept changing her name.
I must have missed that part, but that's cool.
It was when they first meet him. And she's like, I think it was in like the Wild West, and she's like to the Wizard, she's like, "It's me," and she goes, "Me who?" And she goes, "Wild Child." Oh, sorry, not Wild Child. She goes like, "Wild Style," and he's like, "Are you a DJ?" And then she's like, and basically she's like, "No, it's me, your student." And he goes, "My student? Oh, are you the one that was so insecure she kept changing her name?" Like, and he starts to list a few names. And she's like, yes, it's me. It's just funny. I like that.
Fair enough. But yeah, he meets her, finds this magical tablet, and touches it, gains this thing on his back, becomes the chosen one.
Peace. The piece of resistance.
Piece of resistance. Which, more spoiler territory, we find out later is the top to a super glue tube.
Crazy glue tube.
Crazy glue. You're right. It's crazy
The
glue.
Craggle.
The Craggle.
Yeah.
And so he has to go on this adventure to save the Lego universe from Lord Business, who wants everything to remain as it is, no creativity or anything like that. And they go on this adventure. They meet other people like Wild Styles' boyfriend,
Batman.
Played fabulously, I might add, by Will Arnett. That he did a
Batman.
good job.
I did like Batman. He was a complete dick.
He was a douche.
He was. I loved like the part where he's like choom 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 with the batarangs, and then eventually he hits it. He's like first try. I was like, what?
Yeah. And I love the cameos they put in this too, the character cameos, because when they go to meet all the master builders, you get like Gandalf and Dumbledore, Michelangelo from the Ninja Turtles, Michelangelo, the painter,
I like
Superman, Wonder Woman,
Benny
Green
and
Lantern.
Unikitty. I like Benny and
Yeah.
Unikitty.
Yeah, the Unikitty.
And Benny, the
Hi,
80s
Itachi.
man.
I don't know what you think of the characters they decided to use for cameos, Mole.
I like the ones they chose to use for cameos. Ironically, I mentioned that in the past. People like Unikitty, who was made for this, which made no sense with some of the stuff with her world. It's like, you could have used like one of the existing cameo ones for that instead of it just being Batman, because it's Warner Brothers, and as we know, they own DC, which is constantly sucking Batman's dick.
Pretty much. Yeah, I was kind of disappointed this was such a Batman-centric movie, at least in terms of the other characters aside from the main characters.
Oh, I did
Although-
like some of the side characters, like, oh fuck, I forgot his name. I loved the pirate,
The
Oh, the
pirate
pirate
with
was
no
cool.
body.
and I also loved
Pirate
Rocket
Metalbeard.
Spaceship.
Yeah, he was awesome.
I loved him. I just felt
Yeah,
instead of
that was
Unikitty,
Benny.
yeah, I just felt instead of Unikitty, which was made for the film, they could have replaced her with someone like, say, Michelangelo from Ninja Turtles, and had a completely different type of person on the team, which would have worked as well. Because how awesome would Michelangelo, especially if he's got the new cartoon's personality, with Batman?
There you go.
Those two would
That
have
would be
played off
cool.
each other so well. It would have been funnier, and you would have still had original characters. I'm not asking for, like some people did with Wreck-It Ralph, of, boo, it's all new characters. They should all be existing characters. No. I just wanted, if you're going to have one existing character, at least have two to make it feel balanced instead of just, oh, look, we're going to suck Batman's dick.
Yeah.
And I will say for any children watching, I'm sorry for this language.
She was all like, yay! Sparkle, sparkle. And I feel like, I don't know, I feel like she was kind of like the embodiment of me.
Yeah. Now, I will say, I liked Lord Business as well as the villain.
Mhm.
I loved like when he was like, oh yeah, it's going to be Taco Tuesday, and then I'm going to kill you all. But Taco Tuesday! And stuff like that, which is kind of funny. And when he steps in, the thing goes, and transforms. I like that. I didn't like his name.
Lord Business?
Yeah, that was too... Ironically, in a film about creativity, that was the most unoriginal name you could have chose.
Well, the only reason I think they actually chose it was because like there were several hints throughout the entire thing that the whole thing is in a child's mind, and that's what a child would call it. So that's the only reason I think that's the name that he would choose. Because it's just a representation
Yeah,
of
but it's meant to be within a child's mind. Oh god, that was stupid. However, it's meant to be within a child's mind. However, the child knew all the other characters' names because they're called that on the box of the toy, which means he could have named him something else. And if, spoiler alert, the Lord Business is supposed to be like a metaphor for his own real life dad as the kid's playing with the toys, so they could have called him something like Father Destruction or Father Order or something like that. And then you'd be like, oh, okay, I see why he's named him Father now. When it got revealed, so, oh, Lord Business. Great. The kid that could create absolutely anything and all these shit in his mind could barely spend 2 seconds coming up with a character name. Why is he, fucking Saban?
Ouch. Yeah, I can kind of agree with that. Although I do like the fact that it's Lego Will Ferrell. I thought that was awesome. So now
I,
Will Ferrell
I
will
like
forever be
that.
immortalized as a Lego minifig. Because, as we all know, all these minifigs actually exist because, well, movie tie-in Legos.
Yep.
But yeah, I do have to say I did, since we touched on it a little bit here, let's go ahead and talk about it. I did like the twist at the end. Of, as you mentioned, it was this kid who created this world within his father's Lego city, and it was all in his mind, and the whole metaphor of the fact that his father won't let him play with the Legos because it's not for him or it's too young or whatever. And with I thought this was really clever that the Krigel or the crazy glue is a metaphor for the father taking crazy glue and gluing things to the Lego city and stuff to keep things in order as they're, quote, supposed to be, unquote. So I thought that was kind of clever. And like I said, I absolutely loved Will Ferrell's performance for that part.
For me
I really
personally,
like
I
his
would have
performance, and
liked
I
that
thought it was
twist.
Mm-hmm.
So I said, for me personally, I would have liked that twist ending thing if it wasn't so, what's the word, like contradicting to stuff that's actually in there anyway.
Yeah, a little bit.
Like I said, the kid couldn't even come up with a name for a load of characters because he doesn't have any imagination. Yeah, he's managed to do all this in such a short time too. Because
Mm-hmm.
it was meant to be within like one day of his dad going out, he's managed to make all these. Which, if anywhere's built any of these Lego playsets, like the Batmobile ones and stuff, yeah, you're not going to be able to play with it within an hour. It's going to take you a while to set it all up. It's going to take you a good long portion to do that. And I was like, Then they made the whole thing of, oh, it's just a metaphor for a kid playing with his dad. But then suddenly Emmett starts to shake and come alive because he's actually alive. So what's happening inside the thing is actually real. And it's like, wait, so which is it? Is it pretend or is it real? What the fuck? Don't Matrix this. I don't want philosophy from a Lego movie. This isn't and piss poor philosophy of that. It's like the ending. It would have been so much better if they'd actually like spent more than 2 minutes thinking about it. It's just like it feels to me like they just wanted a twist. Like, oh, buy our toys because look, the kid made all this whole film you've been watching with the toys. Buy our toys, and I'm like, come on, you kind of undid the whole film with that.
the power of imagination made him move, and that's how he became real, because he believed in the power of imagination. He thought about shit like that.
Yeah, but my point, Stace, is if it's meant to be like the power of imagination, or if it's brought him to life, the fact he's actually got a conscience, he's actually alive, and he moves in the real world undoes the fact this is supposed to be a real story about a boy trying to bond with his father. Because
Yeah.
it stopped being that, and it's all about Lego Neo getting back into the Matrix. It's like, oh,
Yeah, I
I
kind of
really, I
agree
hated
with
that.
you on that.
I hated
Yeah.
that ending. I really did. It felt so forced.
See, I love the ending. I can understand that part of it. I agree with you on that. With the whole Emmett coming alive thing, and I do agree I kind of agree they should have probably spent more time with the, quote, real world, unquote. I can kind of understand why they didn't because they wanted it to be the twist. So, because in one point, on one hand, they want to have that message and that connection to the real world, et cetera, et cetera. But on the other hand, it still has to be a Lego movie. So it's kind of like, trying to strike that balance is very delicate. It's very hard to do, and they kind of missed the mark on it a little bit. Excuse me, but I still loved the movie, and I still loved that twist. I was like, wow, didn't see that coming.
Yeah, like I said, I enjoyed the film. I've said it's a fun film, and I loved everything is awesome. And I
Yep.
loved loads of little scenes in the film. I'll go into my favourite one when we go to wrap it up and stuff. But I don't know, the ending just, it kind of made me go, oh, come on, with that. That kind of ruined the film. That kind of knocked the film down a few points for me. It was like, it felt so forced, and it's like, they could have done much better. If you want to do it as a twist, and you still want to have the real world connection, do it at the very end, and when you have a kid, just go, and then wake up, and he's like, oh my god, I know what to build, and then just have him run to grab the like I don't know, a Lego box which shows the Emmett figure on the front of the box. Like the kid's got all these Legos, and now he was just dreaming about playing with them because it's always on his mind because he wants to play with Lego and stuff. And it's like that would have been so much more realistic than a little kid that can't name shit built stuff that takes adults hours in the space of a day. He's done this whole sit. Oh. And the little brother shaking thing. No.
He didn't build the city though. He built some
He
little play sets and took the figures.
He didn't build the city. However, he was meant to have built all the vehicles that we're now chasing him. The whole thing with good cop, bad cop constantly swapping his head, which means he would have been taking off the head and putting on a new head every single couple of seconds. And the fact, basically, and like I said, and like the pirate, like Pew Pew was saying, and a whole bunch of the other stuff, they're actually really intricate builds. Like just the Batman plane alone, as someone that's had one of those in the past, they can take you hours to make, like the Star Wars ones do. Which he had a Millennium Falcon appear for 2 fucking seconds in the film, which is fair enough. I'm not saying more Star Wars. That's not the point here. But it takes you hours to make the Millennium Falcon. Hours, right. Trust me, I've got one built. But the fact is, the dad wasn't using it for that. The dad was only using this stuff as well. That's the other thing. The dad was only using this for business, just to show where all these stuff was going in this city. So why did the dad buy a Star Wars, Batman, Pirate, Ninja Turtles, fucking Harry Potter, Wonder Woman, Superman playsets for his business? What? Oh. And then you have the whole Duplo thing at the last fucking second too. Like, no, now your sister can play, so suddenly it's Duplo, which I understand why the joke was there, and that's kind of funny. But it's like, so why the hell did the dad have Duplo in the first place?
Because that was the toys for the kids. What I'm imagining is that the kid took his Legos and brought them into his dad's city because he wanted to play with the city stuff. Like, he had all these like superhero play sets, a Harry Potter play set, whatever, but he was never really given the serious, like, you know, like the Emmett style play set. Because I always got the feeling that he created Emmett out of a construction worker that just happened to be part of the city that his dad built.
Oh, yeah, I got the idea that's what he did with Emmett and stuff, which works. I was just on about the fact his dad wouldn't trust him with, like, Lego of a building because, oh no, the kid couldn't handle that. But in terms of the rating on the Lego thing of how difficult stuff is, the Millennium Falcon and the Batmobile and the Batwing and stuff are more actual difficult to make than buildings. That's contradictory. The whole ending just contradicted most of the stuff. It's like, no, it felt, I don't know. But what did Pew Pew think?
I really liked the human element in it. I felt like you can be any age and still enjoy Legos, and if you're an adult and like Legos, that's cool. And if you're a child, you can enjoy Legos, and it kind of doesn't matter. And these kind of things can bring everybody together, which I thought was really cool. And like that, I know the whole fucking his moving shit was like kind of out there, but I kind of didn't take away from me. I just kind of like accepted it. Like, okay, this is what it is, whatever. And like the kid had a little magic portal or whatever. And I don't know why, but like I just feel like the way Emmett was moving, I felt like even though we couldn't see the kid, I almost felt like he was controlling him from like a magnet. You know, like it was a magnet under the table, you know? The way they had him, if you try to teach like 3-year-olds magic tricks.
He was controlling Emmett with. He's controlling Emmett with a magnet or something? None of it's metal!
I know, I'm just saying that's what the animation looked like.
Actually, it's kind of funny you mentioned that. That's kind of funny that you mentioned that, because that's exactly what that is, to be honest with you. The way they did the effect is they put a piece of metal inside Emmett's body, put him on the table, and I believe it was actually the director himself who was under the table with a magnet causing him to...
Oh yeah, I was saying it makes sense in terms of the real world practicality, right. How they made it. I mean, in the story, that would make no sense because it's plastic.
No, I think it's supposed to be Emmett has a soul.
Yeah, I
And
know it has its own.
and if you wanted to know about how magnets work, Stacy,
I know how
okay, I would
magazine
recommend the
magnets work.
science. I would recommend the science book to you, but sod it, watch X-Men 3, then you'll find out why plastic doesn't work on magnet.
Shut up. I know I understand how magnets work, but I don't know.
Why would you subject her to X3? Why?
We lost Pew Pew.
Yes, we did.
And
Hopefully she'll come
I was
back.
only kidding with the magnet comment, as people know. That's not why she left. I just really want to make the X-Men thing. But
Yeah.
we lost Pew Pew. I'll try getting her attention, Jeff. Wing this so the audience doesn't notice.
Actually, I was going to go on to say, what did you think of the voice acting in this, Mole?
I liked it. I liked all the voice acting in this.
Morgan Freeman was hilarious. Vitruvius, I believe, was the character's name.
Uh-huh.
And actually, I was tempted when I went in to pick this up. They actually had a couple copies of the collector's edition left where the case is in like the shape of Emmett's head. I was tempted to pick that up because it came with the Vitruvius minifig, and I was like, oh, I kind of want that minifig.
Nice.
But I was like, not worth the price.
Who was your
Nope.
favorite character in this?
My favorite character.
Or characters? Because I assume you're going to want to say Batman.
Batman was cool. He was, like you said, he was a dick. My favorite character was probably Lucy, Wild Style. I loved her character arc. I thought it was a great character arc.
Yeah. My favorite was probably her and Batman equally. Because like I said, Batman was a douche. He was an ass, but we're not saying that in a bad way. We were saying Batman is an ass or a douche in this in a really hilarious way. Sort of Dr. Cox Scrubs asshole-ish, but without the actual realization or the self-awareness that he's an asshole. And welcome back to Pew Pew.
Welcome back, Stacey.
And I mentioned after I said I realized we'd lost you, I said I was only joking with the magnets. I just wanted to make a X-Men Last Stand reference.
Oh yeah, I got that.
So yeah, Pew Pew, we're talking about the voice acting. What did you think of the voice acting, and who was your favorite character or characters?
Okay, I obviously loved Emmett because he was like my favorite, obviously. But like, there's two other ones, and you might not like this. Batman was good too, but I really, really loved Benny. He's the 80s gracious guy. I love him. I felt every single time where he couldn't build the spaceship and he just felt describing him. I really felt like all his emotions and frustration through all that, and I think his voice acting was really good because I always felt like everything he felt through his voice, and he communicated it really well. And you felt his excitement, man, when he was like, spaceship. It was great, and and I also really like
my favorite part with that. I said my favorite part with that Pew Pew when he was talking to the computer was I loved the fact the computer just wouldn't understand him, and then the pirate comes in and goes and says it in pirate speak, and the computer's like, oh okay, and then does it. And he's like, wow, like raging. I was like, that's kind of funny.
Yeah, I like that. He was a good character too. Yeah, I like that they gave love to the old school 80s spaceman. That was awesome.
There was a cameo in this I did want but didn't have.
Oh?
Unless I missed the cameo. I wanted Chase McQueen, or whatever he was called, from like a City Undercover. I wanted him to be included. Come on, he's like the ultimate cop of the city.
Wasn't he technically good cop, bad cop?
No, because Chase McQueen's more like a. He's more like someone you'd find on like Miami Vice, mixed with an element of, you know what I mean, an element of cool detectiveness. But bad cop, good cop is just like a generic cop that swaps face.
Fair enough.
Yeah, it
But
was
I didn't expect
maybe-
him to be in the whole film. I just wanted him, at the council.
Mm-hmm. That makes sense. That would have been cool.
I
Computer.
really liked Good Cop and really loved Good Cop. He was adorable. And especially I love his little cartoon drawn face where he gets the triple mark and goes back after it's been erased. It's so adorable.
Yep.
Yeah, that was cool. They should have taken Chase McQueen. They should have made him Good Cop, Bad Cop's father. That would have been awesome.
That could have been awesome. And since I'm guessing we're near the end,
Mm-hmm.
I will say my favourite scene in this entire film, like I did mention, I'd mentioned when we got near the end, I absolutely loved Morgan Freeman coming back as a ghost.
Yeah.
And it was just a fucking little Lego ghost slipped over the top of the figure, dangled on string.
Yeah.
I was like, that's kind of hilarious. That's just all kinds of hilarious. To the point where during it, like, I was watching it with, I think it was the Crispy, and he was like, he even looked at it and was like, what? And I was like, I know. And he's like, yeah, this is awesome, but what the fuck? When you see the ghost just like, ooh, on string, I like that.
Yeah. A little fun note. They were trying to decide whether or not they wanted to keep the string. Originally, they were going to get rid of it. And then they kind of thought about it, and the director was like, nah, keep it in. It's hilarious.
Yeah.
Let's take the piss with this one. So they took the piss with it.
Yeah, I liked the string, and I also liked, like Pew Pew said, I also loved, like, at the end of him giving a big speech, he's then like, woo, as he goes away. I'm like, oh, that's genius. Because part of me thought he was going to come back in the film after he died. I was like, part of me thought right then and there, right as he died, he's going to come back later on, but I was imagining, like, a Force ghost.
Mm-hmm.
I was not imagining an actual Lego ghost on string going, woo.
And I love that that Morgan Freeman put his all into that. The fact that he was like, fuck it, and just went for it.
Yeah.
My favorite scene in this movie was probably when Emmett does his like Lego speech, where he's like, "I have no skills. I have like no ideas in general. You would think he is the least qualified person to lead us, and you would be right." I love that. It's like, and he's like, "Wait, no, it's gonna be a butt," and then and then the Black Lagoon guy goes, "No, you're a butt," and they all just leave. Like, he just totally turns his whole speech on.
Which, FYI, that speech is the exact same speech James Phoenix gave to all of us when he wanted to be the leader at the X-Pound.
Yeah, different is we were stupid enough to say, yeah, okay.
I was kidding because now we're all co-owners, which means he's no longer leader.
This is true.
He is the least qualified.
That's the speech he gave to... No, I'm not going to go there. You know where I was going to go with this, Mole.
Yeah, him at the sperm donor.
Mm. No, my favorite scene still has to be near the end, the live action stuff. Despite all the things that were wrong with it, the live action performance itself was it was the best in the movie, and it just, I'm going to be honest, it made me cry. It was that good. I was like, wow, was not expecting it.
I'll admit, as much as I hated that scene, the acting in it was great. I'm not going to doubt the acting. It was only the logic that, ironically, to use your terms, made me cry.
Mm-hmm.
I'm kidding. It wasn't like, oh, no, the logic. Ah, no. It's just like I was just like throughout the whole thing. When I was after that, I was just like, no. I will also mention for people watching, because I'm not going to be doing an actual review of this. If you want to get the Lego Movie video game, rent it. Do not buy it. And that's not because the film or anything like that. The film's pretty good. It just had a few faults here and there that I mentioned. But the game itself is just... it's not the best Lego game. It's a step back from the Lego game. So if you can, rent it or buy it really cheap used. Do not buy full price.
Yeah, TT Games probably sent this to their movie tie-in department.
Technically based on all their fucking Lego games, isn't their whole department almost a movie tie-in game series with Star Wars, Harry Potter, Lord of the Rings, Hobbit? Indiana Jones.
Yeah, that's true. They sent this to their intern department and said, make a game.
Yeah. And if you're watching this review, in the comments below, please please basically give us a score between 0 and 10 with how much Marcus Shadow looks like Rocket Raccoon.
Yeah, at least 8.5.
Wow.
8.5. It's so oddly specific.
But yeah, since we're talking scores, let's go ahead and wrap this up with your score of this movie out of 10. Let's go over to Pew Pew.
I'd give it a 9. Because it's not perfect, it does have flaws here and there, but for me, it didn't take away from the main story, and I actually loved it. And I watched it. I went to this theater to see this 3 times before I eventually bought it day 1 on Blu-ray. So yeah, I really loved it.
Fair enough. Over to the Mole.
Like I said, it's enjoyable, it's fun, and it's definitely worth checking out. However, the huge gaps in logic that almost insult the audience intelligence, and the fact it's basically Wreck-It Ralph, means probably go 6.5 to 7.
Fair enough. And I'm going to give this movie an 8 out of 10. It was a very good movie. There were flaws, as was pointed out. There were some things about it that were just like, really. But overall, it was enjoyable. It was a surprising movie, specifically for the performances given. Specifically for Will Ferrell. Just, again, he surprised the heck out of me. So good job with that. Great voice acting. So 8 out of 10. Check it out. If you wanted to watch the Lego Movie, go ahead and go pick it up. It should be on sale. It should be a relatively lower price now. I got mine on sale for.
Really? I thought it had been out like a week or two.
I got mine on sale for $27. So come this Christmas, you should be able to pick it up. And this is Blu-ray. I got mine on Blu-ray.
Yeah, it's also worth pointing out for those watching this.
Nice.
The way I got mine was I purchased mine on. I just want to give a shout out to it. I purchased mine on Sky, and as a result, I got to download it before it was actually out on DVD or Blu-ray in the UK. Then on literally the Monday it came out on DVD and Blu-ray here, they sent me the DVD through the post to keep as well. So you got to download and also get the DVD, which is a great bundle. I will be buying the 3D Blu-ray disc because, like I said, I may have problems with it, but it's still enjoyable. Just because, as in terms of a movie, just because it's got a lower score doesn't mean it's not fun. People can enjoy bad movies without doing the cliche, it's so bad it's good. That just means you want to justify your own sad, pathetic little existence of the fact you like something that's bad. Just enjoy it. It's fun.
Yeah. But yeah, I was also going to say, by the holiday season, I see this movie being maybe about $20-ish, between 15 and 20, so it should be affordable and well worth the price. Check it out. The Blu-ray's got some great special features. I watched it twice on the run, actually. Second time with the director and cast audio commentary, which is where I learned some of this stuff. And I watched the bonus features, which is quite fascinating, looking at the design process, looking at how to actually build these things, and that's where I learned about the Lego Builder app, which you can find now. Just go to Google, type in Lego Builder, it should pop up. It is official by Lego, so it should link to their website, Lego website.
And make sure to go to iTunes.com. I hope it's available. Go to iTunes.com and buy Everything is Awesome. Everything is good when you're part of a team.
Yeah, that song was definitely the best song in the movie.
It was the only song of the movie, wasn't it?
I think there was some background stuff, and there was probably a song or two in the credits. There's always a credit song. Every movie has it.
Yeah, I thought it was just that song over and over again because it was all about repetitiveness in terms of the story, not in terms of the film. So it was even the robot song, like when they were like, I am a robot, I've never been a robot before, and they're like, what? And then he's like, everything is awesome, and they're like, oh my god, I love this song too. Everything is awesome when you're part of a team, and it's like that's kind of hilarious.
I also love that, and I think they did this on purpose, and it was brilliant how they did it. That song, like you said, it's a song that's repeated throughout the entire movie, and it's the song that everybody in the town sings because because Lord Business has said this is the song you will sing to show that you are one of the mindless minions and stuff like that. But they purposely made it like incredibly catchy and actually a really good song.
It's the best
They did.
marketing Chelsea song
I like
ever.
that. Everything is awesome. Like I said, yeah, like I said, if we had if we had custom soundtracks in the wrestling this year, that would so be my tag team music. I'd probably make a stable of it or something of everything is awesome as everyone comes down like me and the Miz or something. Or me and Crispy as C squared come out to it.
Yeah.
With the t-shirt C squared, a decade of destruction.
You need to put that on the front and on the back. You have to have everything is awesome. But yes, that was the Shadow's Maw. I've been your host, Marcus Shadow, and that was the Lego Movie. Thank you to Chriz, aka The Mole, and Pew Pew for joining me.
Pleasure, darling.
Yeah. So until next time, take care, everyone.
Oh, good.
Fabulous.
It's over. I can stop using that stupid voice. No. Hello, darling.
Goodbye, everyone.
I need makeup before around the pound.